So this video is going to be a little bit different. So we're right now on December 31st. We're New Year's Eve, waiting for New Year's Day, coming at midnight. And a reflection of the new year, reflection of what year came and what year we're going to have in the future. But this is not about that. This one's going to be about Overwatch, the future of the content on my channel. I'll keep it short. I don't want to go too far. So let's start with the easy one. The content on my channel is going to start shrinking because I'm going to be doing college, I'm going to be working, doing security, private security. I'm going to be doing my chaplaincy in college, which I took the assessments for math and English for my courses, and quite frankly, I'm not looking forward to anything math related because, quite frankly, I never loved it. Math sucked. But English wasn't terrible, and I think I could learn that one a little bit better. But doing the theological studies, doing everything, the content quality is just going to drop. I'm going to be tired. Chances are I might not be able to get much unless there's like a week when, depending on the state laws for Texas go, we might not even be contracted workers anymore, as I understand. I don't know any full details on that. I haven't heard anything, so I don't know what to think, and I'm just not going to put my hopes up or down on something I don't know. Feel free to Google it, though. Who did? Okay, just making sure. So, this one's about Overwatch. This video is primarily about Overwatch. What is the status of it? What are my thoughts going into the new year? What is it going to look like now that Marvel Rivals is here? Am I going to be doing Marvel Rivals content? Am I going to be doing this? Am I going to be doing that? So like I said, my primary focus is trying on education. The chaplaincy is a very important prospect for me to not only pursue a personal goal, but also a professional goal by including it into my professional work environment, by being able to utilize the studies that I would normally acquire for personal said goal and applying it into my professional world, where now I could actually work my way up by applying a personal building block into the professional. I'm going to keep saying that, so I'm going to just stop right before I keep on repeating the same buzzwords here. But the reason I bring this up is because it's also going to cut into my gaming. It's going to cut into my Healed by the Blood. My Healed by the Blood might have to take a hiatus until maybe once a month. I can still make videos and I can still make streams. As long as I put content on the channel, it will not die. I could do something maybe once a month at bare minimum. One video, one stream. I don't care how I do it, but videos might be a little easier anyway. But the reason I bring this up in the total is because it's going to impact my gaming. And since it's been a while since I did anything gaming related, I'm going to just quickly cover on Overwatch. And the big thing here is Marvel Rivals is now cutting into it, and I've just been seeing a bunch of videos of Overwatch content creators abandoning that game and moving on to Marvel Rivals, and I really need to turn that off for 2 seconds. But the reason I bring this up is because I'm not abandoning Overwatch. I'm not leaving Overwatch for Marvel Rivals. And it has nothing to do with the quality of the game. It has nothing to do with the format. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with the fact that I'm all superheroed out. Marvel's burned me out on superheroes. I just don't care about DC and Marvel like I used to. There was a time when I was excited back in 2012 when I saw the first Avengers, like, oh, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Thor because he was my favorite out of the Avengers. Can't wait for them to introduce Spider-Man. It's not a matter of if, just when, and a lot of things. And then we hit Endgame, and things just went severely downhill from there. The interest died, the hype died. Everything surrounding the superhero genre is right now just tiresome to me. And for that, it unfortunately leaked into the gaming world too, and I say unfortunately loosely. I'm not really burnt up. I'm not bent out of shape with it. Like, I just don't care. I just don't care. I don't care how good the game is. I don't care how good it looks. I just don't care. Now, Overwatch, on the other hand, is still something that I do care about. Still something that I want to believe that will actually pull through, and I think that there is a team that actually now values the growth of the game and trying to find real solutions, trying to make the game still viable to this day. And now that they have real competition, I think that this is going to be the first good step forward, because now that they have something that's going to actually conflict, like, this is what we should have done as a community in the first place. hit them where it hurts so that they're forced to make this change because it will reflect and it will be like, oh, this is something we have to take seriously. The community couldn't do it. It took competition. It took a game that actually listened to its community, made an actual fun game with balance changes that agreed with people. Like, it's still a new game. It still has a chance to tank itself, but it's right now listening to its player base. It's not trying to cater to a specific group of individuals within the gaming community. It's just trying to make a fun game. It's trying to make a great game. And that's a saying that we keep hearing from the director's takes in Overwatch, which, again, it's been making strides forward. But we've been getting small steps. Very small steps, and it's always ended with the same thing, let's make a great game. And unfortunately, I don't think that they realize that they put themselves in a hole now because that's actually their saying, and then what Marvel Rivals is doing. And right now, by prospect, it looks like Overwatch is not doing what they're saying, but their competitors are. So the reason I bring this up, I'm not leaving Overwatch. I'm going to continue playing Overwatch until I get completely burnt out with the brand and just be like, okay, you know what, today is the day. I don't care about Overwatch as a whole. I don't care about Blizzard. I don't care if I drop off the face of the earth, if this channel needs to die with it as far as gaming goes. That's not that time right now. But if that day ever comes, then it's just variety gaming if I feel like it, and then we go from there. If, like, can I actually play variety games? Am I going to be entertaining enough to actually do this? We'll work on that when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But talking about Overwatch for a second, this one's more like a 6v6 review rather than an overall game review. So, by the way, I would just like to put this out there. When we were in the 5v5, heading like about Season 6 or so, I mean, everybody was already begging for 6v6 to come back at that point. We gave it the college try. I've played this game since Season 7 consistently, competitively, building myself up from low bronze to high gold, low plat, mid plat in this game. And quite frankly, I'm burnt out on 5v5. They just keep making decisions, and it's constantly a seesaw effect where, from my perspective of playing, it was always like they kept overpowering the tanks. It's fighting a raid boss. It's very tiring. It's very tedious. And it's like every time that they would throw us a bone, it essentially in the back end was more like, hey, the tanks are overpowered, you get burnt out. And just before you're like, I'm done with this game until they do a major change, they'll throw you a bone to keep you in and then do the same process over and over again. I can't deal with 5v5 anymore. 5v5 burnt me out. 6v6 was a breath of fresh air, and I can honestly say I feel better. Like, it doesn't fix every problem. There's still problems that need to be fixed, and there's still things that, agitate me in the middle of a game. If anybody's been watching my stream, you'll see that I'm actually still annoyed, but I can assuredly say I am so relieved. I'm happy to play this game again. I'm excited to get into it again. Maybe not tonight, maybe tomorrow night. I don't want to burn out too quickly. But I did the same thing with 5v5. But every night that I would play 5v5, it was just, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's just, I'm fighting a raid boss. They do not die. And when you have player versus player experience, when you have a raid boss, it's like, I can't do it. I can't keep doing this. Like, I'm getting no value when I do something right. And then I get punished, even if I do something right. Whereas in 6v6, there's actually a chance that when you do something right, you get rewarded for it, which you're supposed to. And even sometimes when you do something right, someone does something right better, and you can get defeated for it. That's fine. But in the 5v5 experience, that's not it. It doesn't matter if you do right or wrong. It's a majority of the time, they don't have to do much more right than you in order to get value. They just need to exist and get pocketed. And fighting a raid boss is just stupid. You get no value as a player in this case. The tanks are not having fun. The supports were not having fun. And then one of the big takeaways they try putting in here is that the support players are not going to have fun with 6v6 because, there's going to be that extra player. They're going to get stressed out. No. We went for almost 40-some seasons in Overwatch 1 of 6v6. The support players were not getting burnt out over the sheer number of players that they had to keep to manage. It's only one more person. It builds ult charge. It helps encourage the game. Do you not play your game? So, 6v6 is out. Bunch of these problems. Queue times has not been an issue so far. The most I've seen queue times, for me personally, has been 3 minutes, and that's on support roll. Which is funny, because the problem was the damage roll. The damage roll was still among the lowest, and still nobody's been able to acknowledge, like, oh, hey, the tanks are supposed to be low, the supports are supposed to be low, so why are the damage rolls not the highest? Nobody's been able to answer that. And by the way, I'm going to throw this out there for consideration as well. If you want actual reasons as to why 6v6 wasn't working in Overwatch 1, there's multiple reasons. The crew gave up on the game to work on a dead game that they weren't ever going to release. They ended Overwatch 1's life cycle on a new damage hero that was never properly balanced, so she was dominating the field, making it unfun for the other roles, and that would be Echo. And because of that, it killed the hype for the other roles, because now it was the new one, and if you wanted value, you had to play there, and she was just a duelist all around. She could take on tanks, she could take on damage heroes, she could take on the squishies of any kind. She can pretty much get a lot of value as a flight hero. She was just overall around powerful. The only thing that really balanced her was hit scan heroes, and that is a whole other discussion, which I'm not willing to have right now. But you ended the life cycle of a game on a new damage hero. And then even in addition to that, you ended the game adding a hero in each role, which means that until you hit like 99 heroes per role, you're not going to see a major difference in the roster. We are right now, like the tanks were less than half the amount of damage heroes. No duh, they had the highest queue time because they had the most variety. Tanks only could pick between like 7 of them. Introduce Overwatch 2, where not only did they pull from the damage roll to put in the tank roll, which not only reduced the number of damage heroes but increased the number of tank heroes alongside a new hero in each, but their next hero release was a tank. You fixed your problem. This was the problem number 3. You were adding the wrong heroes at the wrong time, and you needed to give up on a role for a temporary time. It was never forever. There would be new damage heroes, and I'm sure, I even said this too, they could add 2 to tanks, 2 to supports, and 1 to damage within the span of whatever time they're going to introduce new heroes. Now it's every 2 seasons, which is fine. But ignore the damage roll for a bit. We do not need extra heroes. We have a full roster of damage heroes that add variety. It's fun. They're fun. We're fine. Tank needs that. Supports need that. We're right now running into an issue where we're literally on the limited roster. That's why the tank role is also suffering, because damage has all that variety, and it's more entertaining and more able to hold. Tanks didn't have that. Now they're fun. So notice that the queue time problem is now gone. Why? Because there's more variety for the tanks to play. There's more ability to create different scenarios, different team synergies, different setups, different abilities to bring. Hazard's the new hero right now. We have Juno as the new support. I really swear right now, if the next hero is a damage hero, they missed the mark yet again. We do not need another damage hero, we need another support. Forget damage until the supports and the tanks can line back up. Even if you're like 2 heroes difference before we get there. I don't remember how many tanks there are. I didn't do the math on exact counting. But that's like the 3 major complaints. But, bringing it back, 6v6 is not the issue anymore. The format is a breath of fresh air. It feels better just in a format sense. You get more value as a damage hero because you're not just fighting a immovable object as a stoppable force. And you're not fighting an unstoppable force as a movable object. You're not a finite piece in a cog where you need to work with your entire team in order to just defeat one person on the team. You are now able to help and assist in a real way. That although tanks are still a nightmare to deal with in a certain degree, which is fine, they need to be difficult because they need to do their job. I'm fine with not being able to kill Hazard in 0.2 seconds. I'm okay with dealing in my damage, maybe taking his health pool from this to this. But when I pump my entire clip into a Hazard in 5v5 and this is the change that happens, Now we're having problems because my value is significantly reduced. So why am I bringing this up? 6v6 is great. 2-2-2, feeling fantastic. And I am looking forward to the 3-2-1, min 1, max 3, excuse me. Min 1, max 3. I'm looking forward to that because you know what? That actually might be more fun. We haven't tried that yet. Having 3 in 1 role, 3 supports, 1 tank, 2 DPS, any mixture of those entire things, I'm willing to give that a shot. I am willing to give that a shot. And quite truthfully, it needs to happen. We need to find a solution for a format that would work so much better. And Marvel Rivals is proving that the format can work by introducing a chaotic form where it's not just fitting all things in. And this was a kind of a recent video that I just saw, but hey, Hero Bands is back on the table apparently. I'm not going to pretend like that's the answer. I don't know. This is beyond my expertise right now because I let the game go and I was mentally done with it till 6v6 came. 6v6 has come. My interest is now peaking in the game again. I have removed a lot from my mental load, so maybe it's coming back on. But I'm willing to see how things play out. I'm willing to finish up the 6v6. When 6v6 playtests are done, I'm done until a major announcement is made. Now, it's not an issue of whether or not 6v6 is not coming back. I know that they said, oh, we have to see how the player base responds to it. If 6v6 disappears, I disappear. It's a very simple process. We've already proven that Marvel Rivals is showing tremendous promise because they're listening to their fan base. You're not listening to yours. There's plenty that want 6v6 back because the format is just healthier. The format is just better. You get more value in your role in a 6v6 format than you do a 5v5 because you have to play 5v5 at the expense of a role. You don't get that in 6v6. It's actually balanced. Even in open queue, it's way more balanced, but I don't like open queue personally. That's just me. But even I can acknowledge that 6v6 open queue has always been better than 5v5 role queue, or even 5v5 as a whole. That being said, if 6v6 never comes back, then I'm gone. But I know that they're going to keep it because they have no choice. If they remove 5v5, if they never remove 5v5 and they get rid of 6v6 and are like, oh, it wasn't popular enough, we're just not going to go that route. Well, then I will keep an ear out if you change your mind, but know that my mind is unchanged about the result of this. Sayonara, uninstall. I'll listen to Overwatch news on the ear and just keep a lookout for when they decide to bring it back. But if you're never going to bring it back, supposedly, all right, well, I'm never returning. I'm not dealing with this headache. That's just me. Like I said, I'll do variety gaming. But 6v6, I called it myself. It was never a matter of if. They were going to bring it back in the playtests. They were going to bring it back in some way, shape, or form. 6v6 is coming back. Not a matter of if, only when. They delivered on that. We now have a 6v6 playtest. We have the min 1, max 3 coming out soon. And I am looking forward to that. It does sound actually exciting. I can deal with that. But if at the end of these playtests they do not make the right decision, they've lost me. And heading into 2025 with that information, we just now have to see how things play out. So, as I said, I'm probably not going to stream this evening because New Year's is a little bit different. We're going to be up till midnight. So, the next time you guys will see me stream, the next time you see me play, will most likely be 2025 tomorrow. So, tomorrow and beyond. But, thank you everybody for helping me achieve 500 plus subscribers in 2024. I look forward to the 1,000 as long as I can keep making content. And if I can't keep making content, I still thank you guys for all the support. And for everything moving forward, I'm going to continue making content as long as I can. But know that something will be coming out. It's not going to be a dead channel. It's just, I need to see where it goes, and education and all that. Professional work environment, professional environment, all that. So, thank you everybody. Have a happy New Year and a safe New Year's evening. And I'll see you guys in 2025. Have a good one. Oh, and God bless.